Welcome to another Spiritual Awakening. Yours truly, A.G. Green Sr. You know what to do. Tag, share, and text. Text, share, and tag. Let some good people know we're on the air, streaming live. It's time to vibe with your tribe. You know what it is. Tag, share, and text. Text, share, and tag. Spiritual Awakening is streaming live with yours truly. Almighty, we're thankful and grateful for this moment, these experiences that we're sharing together within the astral, mental, and physical cosmos. And your will is done in us, with us, and through us. Thank you for our interconnectedness, our oneness. Thank you for the power of your presence, the power of the gospel of consciousness. Lead us and guide us. Evolve us, transform us, and ascend us. And we give you praise and we give you glory for miracles, signs, and wonders. We move from spirit to flesh, from flesh to spirit. We speak, things come into existence, and you are glorified as we exemplify who and what you are in us, with us, and through us. We thank you and bless you for this program and all that's going to happen in these moments. And we remember the name, the power, the way, and the consciousness of Yeshua. It is so, and so it is. Thank you, family, for joining. It's time to vibe with our tribe. I said it's time to vibe with our tribe. I said it's time to vibe with our tribe. Good evening to our resident therapist, Pastor Jerry Cotton, and to Linda Nelson. Good to see you all on tonight. Tag, share, and text, share, and tag. There might be somebody who needs to hear whatever it is that's discussed on tonight. Let's invite them if you think it's something that will be beneficial to them. Tag, share, and text, share, and tag. Tag, share, and text, share, and tag on tonight. So glad to see you and you and you and you on this particular day, night, or whatever time it is you're watching me in the world. I am so thankful and grateful to be with you here on this particular day. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe on social media. That's AG Green now on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and YouTube as well. We always like it when you come by. Check out what we're producing to impact the world, and leave your signature with a like and a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to visit theaggreen.com. That's theaggreen.com. If you want to keep up and stay connected with what we're doing right now. Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now to him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, and it is according to the power that worketh in us." I want you to declare a decree right now in the comment section. I am powerful. Come on, speak it out loud. I am powerful. Come on, say it with force, with vigor, with energy, with knowing, with power. I am powerful. Inherently, you are powerful. By divine permission, you are powerful. You are one with God, one with the Spirit. You are a dynamic, powerful spiritual species. And that your soul knows right well. That's it. Type in the comment section, I am powerful. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I am powerful. Just allow the presence where there is never an absence, as Dr. Michael Beckwith would say, to flow through you. I am powerful. I am powerful. That's it. Type it in the comment section. I am powerful. Oh, it is so great It is so wonderful to know and to recognize the power that you possess. Again, welcome to another Spiritual Awakening with yours truly, A.G. Green. I'm so glad to see our tribe on tonight. Thank you for taking our time in your schedules to connect. We're so honored and privileged, as we always are, to be able to speak to you and to connect with you and to serve in any capacity that we can as it relates to you. I want to take these next few moments to check in with you and see how you're doing, as I typically do, especially midweek. So I've got to ask you, I've got to ask you, what's good? And tell me about your week. What's good? Tell me about your week. What's good? Tell me about your week. My week has been going, I'm going to declare it by saying good. And I am so thankful and grateful for the wonderful things that are happening in my reality. Uh, so that's pretty much what's going on with me, trying to continue to stay focused without being distracted and trying to do the best I can in working on me, that I might be able to serve you and others better, but more importantly, that I might live a life that is qualitative and that is pleasing to the source. Let's see. Linda says her week has been great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our resident therapist, Pastor Cotton, says emotionally getting better each and every day. Spiritually, he says, I am powerful and peaceful. Good to hear that, my brother. We know he's mourning the promotion of his brother, and we continue to hold him up in our thoughts and prayers as well. Anybody else want to tell us what's good? How's your week been going thus far? And a resident therapist beat me to the punch, because tonight, I don't do it every Wednesday, but tonight I was going to get to my next question that I ask periodically and ask you, how are your thoughts? I was going to ask you, how are your thoughts? Thoughts become things. Thoughts become materialized in our reality. Thoughts determine our actions. Thoughts determine our motives. Thoughts determine whether we fail or succeed. So you've told me what's good, how your week has been going. Now I just want to check on your thoughts. How are your thoughts? How are your thoughts? And this is a safe place and space on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest or the best. Tell me, how are your thoughts? How do you think your thoughts have been uh, so far? Let's see. My Krista says the week has been okay. Uh, she said, like you, I would declare would get better. My thoughts have been okay. Well, 7 out of 10. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Anybody else want to share how your thoughts have been? How are your thoughts? How are your thoughts? How are your thoughts? We want to make sure that we understand that, again, it is our thoughts that are part of the reality creation experience for us. They are reality creating things. And so when I'm asking you about your thoughts, this is more important than money. This is can be life or death. Literally, it does pertain to life or death. So just checking in with everybody to see how your thoughts are. How are your thoughts? And I would probably rate mine the same, a 7 or 8 out of 10, something to that effect, 7 or 8 out of 10. How would you rank your thoughts on today? Anybody else want to share? On the rating scale, I know our resident therapist shared a little bit. Maybe he could put his rating up there on the screen for us to see, as well as Linda, if she's still on, and others who might be entering the program right now. How are your thoughts, real quickly? How are your thoughts? And from there, we're going to continue with our teaching. I just want to check in with a few more people before we resume our teaching on tonight. And hopefully we can get you off here expeditiously, and you can resume enjoying your night. But I pray that this is part or would be deemed as the best part of your night. All right? All your thoughts. And there might be somebody who chimes in even after I take it down, and we will do the best we can to acknowledge the rating of your thoughts. Okay? Let's see here. He says he's an 8.5 to 10. So I'm reminded that this sickness is not unto death. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. We so genuinely appreciate it. And our resident therapist, of course, is going to put up on the screen what installment we're in. We're almost done with this as well as it relates to do the work. And basically been on the track of talking about in this series of doing the work, of course, identity. We've been focusing a lot on identity, and greetings to you as well, our resident mystic, Wesley Turk. Okay. What did I think I was on this last week. I was still on this last week, Pastor Cotton. I was still on this last week. There we go. Thank you, sir. Do the work, the inner architecture of creation. Do the work, the inner architecture of creation. Now, we talked a little bit about biblical integration, how faith requires alignment. We talked a little bit from James 2:17, and one of our assistants I know is on. You know what? I can put this up myself. I can just copy it and paste it real quickly before I get into the new subject matter that I'm going to discuss tonight. And again, my copy and paste situation sometimes with this computer. All right, we're going to do it again. And I'll put it up on the screen for you. Faith without works, the text says, is dead. And we shared with you as it relates to faith from a metaphysical perspective that faith is identity assumption. It is identity assumption. It's identity assumption without works, without energy, which is embodied action. It produces no tangible outcome. So faith or assumption without embodied action doesn't produce an outcome. So again, there are a lot of folk are using faith. And when I say misusing it, meaning they're using it when they don't know they're using it, and they're using it in a way that is bringing misfortune into their lives, because as a spirit being who possesses a soul and lives in a body, or as a spirit being who inhabits a physical house, if you want to look at it that way, they have embodied a persona, an ego, a core belief that is contrary to their divine status in terms of consciousness, being fully and completely loved by the source and having access to all, and have decided to embody trauma, embody dysfunction, embody pessimism, embody negativity, so forth and so on. They have decided that this is what they're going to embody. So they have assumed through their faith something negative, and don't understand that they have embodied the persona, they've embodied the concept. And in this embodiment, it's going to produce an outcome. And again, Yeshua says in Matthew 9:29, we know Yeshua is talking to a person he's about to intervene on their behalf, but he says, according to your faith, be it unto you. Become what you believe, in the Message translation. So again, when people see faith associated in the text, they think it's just related to positive things. No, this is a metaphysical, spiritual principle. Faith manifests the reality. Faith co-creates with the creator to manifest a reality. All right. So tonight we want to get into something, brought some new situations here in terms of embodiment as we continue our discussion of kind of from a sociological gravity perspective. We kind of want to focus in for the next few minutes how old systems pull you back. I want you to type in the comment section, old systems can pull me back. Type that in the comment section. Old systems can pull me back. Old systems can pull me back. Type that in the comment section for me. Nicholas Christakis demonstrated that behaviors spread through networks. Behaviors spread through networks reinforces thinking and behavior. Thinking and behavior. Okay. He demonstrated that behaviors spread through networks. And it's been some while ago when I went through, yes, I think it was when we were doing the teaching on the reality tunnel and confirmation of cognitive bias. And we talked about the different kinds of biases, including religious bias, cultural bias, family bias. I want you to realize that all of those are networks that Christakis was referring to. Those are all networks. A family is a network. Okay, a family is a network. A family is a system. Culture is a system. The educational system, I just said it, a system. Government is what? A system. Religion is what? A system. So I want to just kind of briefly remind us of what these systems are as they relate to us. Let's see if you can still see it if I do it like this. Yes, you can still see it if I do it like that. We've talked about this before. Identity is transmitted through. But I want you to understand that all these things listed here are systems. Are systems. Now, hear me. These systems are your environment. I'm going to say it again. These systems are a part of your environment. As it relates to doing the work and as it relates to owning the identity, which doing the work, excuse me, to own the identity, we've got to understand that we can be a part of a social ecos that is not advantageous to us, that is not conducive for our growth and behavior, that acts as a gravity well and can pull us back in if we aren't careful. So I want you to understand that if your environment enforces small thinking, scarcity habits, emotional reactivity, avoidance patterns, your behavior may unconsciously sink back to group norms. Okay? This is why we have the saying association brings about assimilation. So many times we're on a good trajectory and a good path in doing the work. And in doing the work, of course, to embody the new identity. But if we're not careful, our social networks or our educational networks, our political networks or political systems can pull us back in. So check this out. Thus, manifestation collapses not because you lacked belief, but because you renamed socially, or remained, excuse me, you remained socially embedded in contradiction. socially embedded in contradiction. So look at this, the identity as it relates to the identity. We're doing the work to embody something new. But again, if your identity is being transmitted through a family narrative that is not conducive for your growth and not conducive for your behavior, then it's going to act as a gravity well and pull you back into your old way of thinking and your old way of doing things. Do you know that there's a famous study called the Bobo doll experiment? Anybody ever heard of the Bobo doll experiment? Have you ever heard of that? It's it's a, basically the gist of it is children watched adults act aggressively toward a doll. Those same children later replicated the same aggressive behavior, which leads us to a formula. Behavior is modeled, internalized, reproduced. I'm going to say it again. Behavior is modeled, internalized, reproduced. There are research findings, again, that show that children observe and imitate parental behavior patterns. These behaviors become internal models of reality, beliefs about relationships, conflict, identity, and more. So then children observe their parents' behaviors and imitate those behaviors. So why is this relevant and important? This is relevant and important because you can be on the track to embodying something new, but being pulled backwards if you find yourself compromising too much in terms of your new beliefs for the old. And again, on this, and you've seen this chart before. I did put this chart up, I guess, a month or two ago when it was created in conjunction with some other teaching. So as this was a part of the outline tonight, I said instead of creating a new outline, let me use the old one because it still works. Number two on here is talking about cultural trauma. That's not just family related. The DNA of family could be the DNA of your neighborhood, the DNA of your environment. There's also religious conditioning. You could be making strides in terms of advancing spiritually in your perspectives about God and your relationship about the source, and find yourself around a bunch of people who are religious, find yourself around a bunch of people who are into their Bible, but yes, misinterpreting and misunderstanding. And yet they can use guilt and other things to influence you to be pulled down into that gravity well. See, you know you've been raised to believe this, or you know you've been raised to believe that, and whatever it is you've gotten into, it's just off, it's just false, it's just this, that, and the other, so forth and so on. If you fall prey to that, it's like gravity pulling you back down into that miserable former religious experience that you had. Hear me. Identity, of course, is transmitted through economic structures. Economic structures could be an economic system that you and I have aligned ourselves with it from a natural perspective, even an economic system that's a part of the family structure, the family unit we grew up in, are part of the racial culture that we're influenced by. There are just so many different things that make up environment, okay, that contributes to our identity, that causes us to embody it. All right. So, as I was looking over my lesson plan tonight, I wanted to make sure that I would be thorough enough in my presentation because I want you to understand exactly where I'm coming from. All right. I always like to try and give you a view beneath the surface. So we've got attachment theory by John Bowlby. And he basically espouses that early experiences form internal working models. Internal working models. Let's type that in the comment section. Early experiences form internal working models. Type that in the comment section. Early experiences form internal working models. Type that in the comment section for us real quickly. Type that in the comment section for us real quickly. Okay? Type that in the comment section for us real quickly. Then I got a couple of points I'm going to make on this. I hope you're enjoying this thus far. All right, there you go. Early experiences form internal working models. Internal working models. So, what exactly does that mean? Well, first of all, these models guide relationships, emotional responses, and self-worth. Relationships, emotional responses, self-worth. So breaking it down in even plainer language, this is the essence of what I'm saying. What you experience becomes what you expect and what you recreate. Wow, let's just let that sink in. Let's just let that sink in. What you experienced becomes what you expect and what you recreate. What you have experienced in childhood, you and I observing our families, observing our parents, observing extended family, observing religious family, observing school peers, and might call them school family, observing the family of society, or the system, I should say, of the society. I can change it up. The network of society, in society, the cultural, racial component. What you and I have experienced becomes a part of what we expect. For example, racism, we know about the trauma that could be passed generationally uh, because of the effects of slavery, and how it could be present in the genetics of people. But I want to take it a little deeper from a psychological standpoint. We've got a lot of people who don't understand that although racism exists in the minds of many people in this world, you can be expecting racism so much until you recreate it where it did not exist before. Oh, wow. Again, remember, all of these things we see in society that we despise have been created by our species. All of the isms that you and I see in our world have been created by our species. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? What you experienced, what I've experienced, becomes what I expect, and then I recreate more of that. I recreate more of that. Talk to me now. Is this making any sense to anybody right now? This can impede the progress of embodying a new identity, because if you're continuing to in your old self, or allow your old self, or trying to negotiate with your old self that's constantly trying to bring up old stuff that you learn that you just need to get rid of, old items in your heart and your mind that you need to discard, old philosophies, old theologies that you just need to throw out and throw in the trash. You'll start going upward. You'll be feeling good, and all of a sudden it feels like something pulling you down. What's pulling you down many times are the aspects of your old identity that don't want to let you go, that's trying to pull you down. And what I'm saying is, who you expose yourself to will also influence that. Sometimes, and I'm going to ask you the question. I'm going to ask you the question because as I was meditating on this earlier, before I, as I was looking over my notes, it came to me. You got to ask yourself the question in terms of who in your life right now is the most positive and influential to help you go on an upward trajectory, toward an upward trajectory, who's helping you ascend, who's helping you the most, who's helping you the least, which one are you spending the most time with? Which one are you modeling yourself after? Which one are you allowing to feed you more? Did you catch what I just said? So I have learned one reason why my life is somewhat isolated right now is because where I am, other people aren't. And those who aren't can unknowingly try and contribute something to my upward progress that in essence could impede my trajectory. Check this out. Hear me. If the goal is to go up straight, you still don't want people impeding your trajectory. Instead of going straight, you're going sideways. Did you catch that? What people say about you, people's opinions, people's mindsets. I say this in all humility. Sometimes the people that think they know the most are the most shallow. Sometimes the people that think they think the deepest are still in a stream, not in an ocean. Am I making any sense? And many times we find ourselves spending the wrong amounts of time. And don't get me wrong, we have to make ourselves available to loved ones and friends and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I want you and I to understand is that in our desires to embody an aspect of us that's going to allow us to take on that identity and continue to experience upward mobility and upward progress, it's going to mean that you've got to be intentional about spending time with that positive force, that positive power, that positive person, whatever that is, so that you can feed on it enough to help you strategically continue to grow and to expand. Am I making any sense to anybody? So you can say you've got a particular place you used to like to hang out at, but you sense the need to embody a new you, and that new you just doesn't align with the old group at that old section. It's all right for you to go back there and visit. You just can't hang out as many hours as you used to because you realize that that's a mindset that's down here. Now your mindset is up here. Now, if you want to compromise, you can compromise, but what's going to happen is it can create a pull again on your trajectory, on your flight plan. Am I making any sense? Again, we're talking about doing the work to embody the identity that we desire, which is ultimately a higher, better version of ourselves. And if we got people who keep seeing us as the lower version, if we got people who keep wanting to talk to us like we the lower version, if we got people who keep wanting us to do things that the lower version of us did, and we keep complying to that, eventually we're going to be drugged back down to that level. Am I making any sense? So we see it in business, we see it in politics, we see it in the spiritual world, we see it in the professional world. When people aspire a certain position, aspire to learn a certain job, aspire to learn leadership skills, whatever it is, they shadow people who've already succeeded. And that's where they invest their time for that growth in their area. And when it's time for that investment, they're not going to let nobody or nothing stop them, even when it requires a sacrifice, because they recognize that this mentor, this person has something I need that is vital to my growth and my expansion. Ooh, I feel this. I feel like running. Okay. And I'm going to say it again. If your environment reinforces small thinking, scarcity habits, emotional reactivity, avoidance patterns, your behavior may unconsciously sink back to group norms. Let me look at my time. I'm spending a little longer on this than what I had intended to. Hear what I'm saying today. Hear what I'm saying today. So I said all that again to say you are like, catch this, family. You are like the crew of the first Star Trek. You are boldly going where no man or woman in your family probably has ever gone before, or no man or woman in your group, or no man or woman in your high school class, or no man or woman in your in whatever category has never gone there before. And if that is the case, it's kind of difficult. It's kind of difficult if you want to fly. Hear what I'm saying today. If you want to fly, let me use a better example. I got to use a better example. If you want to fly, family, if you want to fly, then you need to spend more time with eagles, not an ostrich, not birds that don't have real wings that get them off the ground. Hear what I'm saying? And you don't necessarily have to know people. If you know me, you know that when I'm working, I'm not just listening to music. Sometimes I'm listening to other spiritual teachers. I don't have to know them personally, but I'm synced. I'm synced into that dimension. I'm synced into that realm. I'm synced into that level of consciousness, and it feeds me. But I can't go back to some of the old teaching and some of the old stuff that I used to listen to, because it does nothing for me anymore. Because a lot of it is rooted in fallacy. It's rooted in error. I need you to catch what I'm saying today. Am I making any sense, family? I didn't mean to spend too much time on that. It just happened. Let me leave a final thought with this section, and I'm going to move to the next one. I'm going to be done. You cannot become something new while consistently rehearsing old behaviors in old environments. I'm going to see if I can put that up on the screen for you real quickly. We really do have to ask ourselves the question: who is the most positive, influential person that's, again, pushing me down the road, walking with me down the road, or pushing me up? I had to consider that myself when the Spirit brought that to my attention, and continue to make sure that I do things, even with connecting with people I don't know, but I aspire to model some of my life after their success in the areas that they align with me, to make sure I maintain that connection consistently, because it's providing me with inspiration, clarity, understanding, motivation, and fuel to continue to allow the new me that I've embodied to emerge. It feeds me and tells me I can do this. When you're trying to believe for something greater, you don't need people in your ear telling you what you can't do. When you know that you are a changed individual, you don't need people in your ear trying to remind you or talk to you like you're the same person you used to be, or treat you like you're that same. You're not that. You need people who recognize the new identity, the new you. Watch this. Who can see inside of you and say, I see him, I see her, I see that greatness, I see that giant, I see that businessman and woman, I see that spiritual guru, I see that masterful entrepreneur, I see that master psychologist, whatever it is. And they are speaking to that in you to bring that forth out of you, not trying to discourage it from developing in you, not trying to kill it because they don't understand it, or kill it because they want something else for you, but they're trying to nurture it and grow it. They're trying to understand it and blossom it. You cannot become something new while consistently rehearsing old behaviors in old environments. You can't do it. There's a part of me that struggles with that. Trust me, family, but some things are not meant to be done. I'm going to say it again. Some things are not meant to be done. The book says, how can two walk together except they be in agreement? So as it relates to why adults repeat childhood patterns, and I'm going to be done. I'm not going to go through all of the notes that I got down here as it relates to environment. I'm just feeding you enough, kind of like a teaser, planting enough seeds for your mind to expand and consider all of the ways that you could be subconsciously influenced and being and syncing with behaviors you're trying to outgrow right now as I speak. Normalization. Number one, normalization. What you see repeatedly becomes normal. Example, yelling, affection, neglect, discipline styles. Normalization can come from that. Two, conditioning and reinforcement. Behaviors linked with rewards or outcomes are repeated. Even unhealthy behaviors can feel right because they're familiar. I kind of discussed this within like the last month. We talked about your nervous system, how your nervous system can feel safe in a wrong situation, and it can feel unsafe in a right situation. Cognitive scripts. Number three, the brain builds automatic scripts. These scripts run unconsciously in adulthood. So if we don't resolve some of these scripts that we learn in our childhood, then we will carry them out in our relationships. We'll carry them out in how we handle our money. We'll carry them out in how we deal with other people. We'll carry them out in our work ethic. We'll carry them out in whether we have hope, faith, or cynicism and negativity. And then number four, emotional memory. The nervous system encodes early environments. People often recreate emotional homeostasis, even if dysfunctional. Now that's deep. That's deep. People will recreate it to fit, even if it's killing them, destroying them, gnawing at them, getting on their nerves, whatever the case may be, they will recreate it to fit, even if it's dysfunctional. Can I give you one more point? Let me give you one more point. This is a repetition of negative behaviors. And let me just say this real quickly. Because I'm spending more time on it than what I had intended to. Let's see here. Exposure to aggressive conflict in childhood leads to higher likelihood of repeating it in adult relationships. Children who witness aggression may internalize these behaviors and later replicate them. Now, again, why am I bringing this up? Because as you and I are embracing that new version of us that visited us in our dream, that we had in revelation knowledge that was revealed to us by ourselves, by our spirit selves, or by the source, we're walking in that, and we got to be careful not to re-enter sociological gravity wells that pull us down. Abuse leads to abuse. Neglect leads to emotional unavailability. Financial dysfunction leads to poor money habits in adulthood. Addiction leads to increased risk of addiction. Wow. Good gracious, good gracious, good gracious, good gracious. I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop there because I got to move on to the next section. How am I doing so far? Is this empowering you right now? How am I doing so far? How am I doing so far? I want to move on real quickly to my last section today, discussing identity intention versus identity evidence. Wow, I could spend some more time on that, and I know I usually take my time, but uh, I'm trying to finalize this series. I want to clarify a couple of things here. And my point of clarification is this: intentions are declarations, evidence is identity. Let me put that up on the screen for you. And I'm going to explain in a minute. I'm going to explain in a minute what I mean by that. I'm going to explain in a minute what I mean by that. Thank y'all for the feedback. I appreciate it. Intentions are declarations. Evidence is identity. So here's an example of what I'm saying. So you say you're disciplined. If I say that I'm disciplined, but my calendar, habits, and follow through contradict my claim about being disciplined, I got to remember that my subconscious trusts evidence, not affirmation. This is why Neville said assumption, if persisted in, becomes fact. Persistence means behavioral continuity. We've been talking about that. Behavioral continuity. In other words, what you and I are assuming must be rehearsed until action aligns. So faith without works, embodied identity, faith or assumption without works, which is embodied identity, is dead. It is fruitless. It is useless. So what I say to you today is, as you are assuming a new identity, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Say you are a person who's saying, I must eat more fruit. So therefore, I must become a fruit eater. What's going to happen is this, and I'm going to find that formula real quick. This connects, this formula that I'm going to put up on the screen in a minute connects to the identity framework that I am developing right now. So what that means, family, is you're going to have to shift to the identity of a person who eats a lot of fruit. Now, again, remember, for me, I just said affirmations and declarations. Now, again, I've shared this with you before. Affirmations do work when they are treated more like memorization. If it's treated like a declaration, there's a part of your mind that's going to think, I'm trying to get this. So if you're declaring, I am going to eat more fruit, or I am one who loves eating fruit every single day. If you declare that second statement, I'm one who loves to eat fruit every single day, there's a part of your mind that knows that you're saying this so that you can eat more fruit. But what if you switched it up, made it past tense, and then treated it like, oh yeah, this is what I do all the time, as if you're remembering, oh, yesterday, yeah, yesterday I had all kinds of fruit. I'm just a person who enjoys eating fruit. and I eat it all the time. And it's so good and so delicious to me. Yes, 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 I do. Every single day I'm putting a piece of fruit in my mouth. When you treat it casually and normally, like it's a part of your life already, like you're already it, like you just pull that out your memory, not that you just said that to make that happen, but you literally pulled it out of an action that's already taken place, or pull it out of a memory that contains an action that has already taken place. You're going to eventually see that subconscious mind, you're going to eventually experience the deeper part of yourself, create that partnership with the creator and the universe, and say, he or she is showing up in this identity. They're vibrating with this intention. They're transmitting this intention. Their energy and their core belief is all outlined as a person that eats fruit and loves to eat fruit. It won't be magic. It will be supernatural. And all of a sudden, what you have treated as a memory, you will continue to flow in as reality. Not saying it like you're not it, but saying it because you're already it. And remember, I'm saying this because I'm already it. Ooh, I feel this. I feel this. Let me put this up real quickly. Let me put this up real quickly on the screen for you. Let me put this up real quickly on the screen for you. Two things I'm going to put up. I'm going to put this up. This is what I was just talking about as it relates to, and let me take this down off the screen. I've had it up long enough. Environment, observation, leads to observation, leads to belief, leads to identity, leads to behavior, leads to reinforcement. Now I'm going to put it in my own framework real quickly. Let me switch over here because I need to. Oh, there it is right there. It's already there. Good gracious. Already there. It's already there. Come back to me. Let me put this other one up on the screen for you real quickly. And then I'm going to be done for tonight. Does that diagram make sense to anybody? Well, does that series, okay, now I'm going to put this up on the screen for you to see. Kind of in a similar way. I'm looking for something here. 3, 4. Yes, yes. The identity integrated self framework. All right. So you see identity, action, evidence, reinforcement. Do you see that? Identity, action, evidence, reinforcement. I am a fruit eater. I love to eat me some fruit. As you embody that, you might use your imagination to see yourself tasting fruit, eating fruit before you go to bed. You might visualize it to just speak, Lord, I love me some fruit. Ooh, I love me some fruit. Goodness, every single day. And I can't wait till tomorrow to continue to eat my daily fruit. As you embody that in your identity, you're going to next take action. What does that mean? You get up the next day and you eat some fruit. As you're eating the fruit, the mind is recording, the subconscious is recording this evidence. And once this evidence is recorded, that's reinforced. as a part of your identity. Did you catch that? Let's shift it over. Let's shift it over. Family. What is the saying last Wednesday? I believe it was last Wednesday. At the end of the broadcast, this is a good example. At the end of the broadcast, what is the identity what is the phrase I told everybody they should speak? And it was prophetic. And I said, I need you to speak this every single day. Do y'all remember? I asked you this on Sunday. I'm going to see who remembers it tonight, because I'm going to use it as an example. My mind was quickened. Give me about 10 more minutes and I'm going to be done. My mind was quickened as I was thinking in my mind about examples I could use, and that came up. What's that statement I asked you to make, that I declared and decreed for you to make? What is that statement? Real quickly. There you go. I received great news this week. I received great news this week. Who remembers that? Thank you. I received great news this week. Okay, so now check this out, family. Check this out. I probably have no less right now than, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 testimonies from people who had stuff going on, including myself. Good stuff though, but still were looking for some things to unravel and unfold, left it up to the source, but at the same time just decided to declare, decree, and speak, watch this, and embody it. Hear what I'm saying. The action that I utilized was, number one, mental energetic action, and seeing myself receiving good news, and then going through the day acting like good news had been received. Do you know I have probably anywhere from, I guess, close to 10 testimonies now from people who just literally start saying to themselves, I received great news this week, or I received good news this week. Literally within like 24 hours, one person texts me 2, 3 testimonials. I got some testimonies of my own. There are others out there who have testimonies on of their own. Now, let me ask you the question. Do you know why that worked? Do you know why that worked? Talk back to me real quickly. Do you know why that worked? And I'm going to be done. Anybody know why that worked? Talk to me. Talk to me. You know the answer. Anybody know why the testimonies actually started coming in? The good news actually start coming in, I should say, which are testimonials. Anybody know why the good news start coming in? Hallelujah. I felt something there. Anybody know why the good news start coming in? Come on, class. You know the answer. Tell the class, the rest of the class, why the good news start coming in. Can you still hear me and see me well? Can you still hear me and see me well? There you go. Thank you. Thank you. This is it right here. You became the person who received good news. This is so powerful. This is so powerful. I'm going to say it again. You became the person who received good news. Your frequency, your vibration, your energy, your being. And with that came a good feeling. In other words, you exuded, you exemplified the feelings of a person who had received good news. You felt it. You were calm, collected, At the same time, a sense of excitement. You became an identity. The person who received good news. Did you catch that? There wasn't no wishing and begging. Please, sir, help me. I'm going to go on a 3-day fast. Oh, Lord, I'm going to quote 15 scriptures. Lord, you got to do it. Send me. Send me. No, you just became the person who received good news. And guess what? You didn't necessarily have to attach any idea of the news you wanted to receive. You just became the person who received good news. Did you hear me? And so now the creator, the source, and the universe treats you as that person who has received good news. And the channels and the portals where the good news is finds you, portals it to you, shuttles it to you. Wow. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Again, when you show up as that person, I tell people now, there's a movie, I love superhero movies, comic books, science fiction, all of that. And Heath Ledger, who is now deceased, was the Joker in one of the Batman movies that the series that Christian Bale was Batman in. He won an Oscar posthumously for his performance of the Joker. The long and short of it is, they talked about how deep he went into the role. I'm going to be honest. Nobody has ever played the Joker like this man. You know why? Because he became the Joker. I'm going to say it again. He became the Joker. To the point that his performance looks so real as this at the time I couldn't watch it again because I saw so deeply into him that I could tell he wasn't acting. This was an evil, vindictive, megalomaniac, sociopath. There we go. That I'm watching on screen. And everybody else felt like they were watching it. That's why he won the Oscar. You could feel this is genuine. This is real. This is like what? When you show up as something, let me tell you something, God and universe are going to manifest it with you and for you. It's just the way it is. Faith, assumption, without works, embodied action is dead. So we show up with that assumption, with an action. We move through the next day, not having to think about it all day long, because I didn't think about it all day. Oh, I'm receiving good news. I'm going to pay attention to the good news. No, I said it because I know how to let it go and go on to the next thing. When you let it go, it's like it's already done. Period. You know it's done. You don't have to micromanage nothing. You don't have to make nothing happen. The creator partners with you, takes that honors that faith, and from within you materializes it. People embody the identity of a person who received good news, great news, and guess what? They got great news. me included. Hey. So I'm asking you today, and I'm going to release you. Who received great news this week? Talk to me in the comment section. When this broadcast ends tonight and concludes, who received great news this week? And I don't walk away like, what if it don't happen? See, when you start doing this what if stuff, that's you sabotaging, trying to sabotage the process, trying to pollute it, trying to put some elements of doubt in that part of your being to disrupt the total alignment with consciousness and awareness of that identity. No. We don't do that. I know that it must work. It can't resist me. It doesn't want to resist me. It wants to do what I believe, what I conceive and believe. It wants me to receive what I conceive and believe. That's the law. It's bending to my faith, bending to my conviction, bending to my identity. Hey, thank you. I got one, absolutely. I got two, absolutely. Thank God. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Source. I received good news, great news this week. Wow. And I am so thankful. Thank you, Almighty, for the good news, the great news that has been received this week. We honor you. We honor whom you have made us to be. And we honor others who are one with you. And we bless in the spirit and in the mind and in the way of Yeshua. It is so. And so it is. Yes, jobs were received. That's right. Jobs were confirmed. All kinds of stuff happened, family. Just because people dared to become the identity of the one who received great news. And I'm saying to you again, before this week is out, those who have become an identity, the one who's received great news, received it. It is so, and so it is. I want to encourage you, as I always do, to show your love and support by giving as you can give, and continue to partner with me in prayer and meditation for greater heights, greater exposure, and greater impact of this platform on the world. I release you with the shalom blessing. Shalom, shalom, peace, wholeness, and prosperity. Nothing missing and nothing broken. It is so, and so it is. Congratulations on the good news, the great news you received this week. Thank you for being a part of this journey of awakening and transformation. Support the light through Revolution Inc. by liking, sharing, and giving. Cash App $AG Green and $AG Green Enterprises. You can also give by Zelle. Anthony G. Green at hotmail.com is what you use. And Chime $Anthony/Green/336. If you haven't joined as a member of Patreon, now is a good time. We're a spiritual community that's evolving, transforming, and ascending. If you like what you have seen and heard, connect with us. It's time to vibe with your tribe. Also take time to visit theaggreen.com for the latest developments, and just explore divinespeciesshop.com for spiritual tools to elevate your life. Your love and support helps keep this mission alive.